Alright guys, so next week is already Game Awards time, and I thought I'd take this time to tell you guys what my favorite games of this year were. Not only my favorite games that came out this year, but my favorite games that I've played this year. So I've played a total of 13 games this year, 2 of which were DLC, and yeah, I just thought I'm gonna rank my top 10 favorite games, including the DLC, that I've played this year. So for my number 10 spot, I'm actually going to give it to Tomb Raider, the original Tomb Raider, the PS1 version. So I obviously didn't play this on PS1. I played it on my PC through Steam. I got it for, I think, $1, and it was so worth it. This is probably the hardest game I've ever played in my life just because of the controls. But the thing is, once you get used to the controls, you start to appreciate this game and start to see how ahead of its time it was. Just like when you replay Super Mario 64, you really get to see, holy shit, this actually is why there are so many third-person action adventure games. This kind of started it. Um, Solving the puzzles is incredibly fun, and they're all diverse. I know I hate the word diverse, but they're all different. Every single level is different. I remember the pyramid level was my favorite, and yeah, having the challenge, uh, getting over that challenge and being rewarded with a cutscene, because this game has a total of like 4 cutscenes, uh, is super rewarding. And yeah, definitely go pick it up if it's cheap. So for the number 9 spot, I'm actually going to give it to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. This might come as a shocker to some of you, considering I'm a massive Star Wars fan. And why the fuck would I put it at number 9? Why would I put it so high up? Well, it's because this game is borderline unplayable. I didn't play this game with the restoration mod. I played it vanilla on Steam, as I did the first one. The thing is, the first one is playable. I powered through the turn-based combat and the pretty much very outdated game design of it, and I liked it. The second one is very similar, just there are a lot of game-breaking bugs. I had to start 2 different saves, both of which ended up like getting bugged, and I got soft locked on this certain mission that I was at. Very bullshit. I ended up completing the game through a third one, but man, I shouldn't have to go through something like that, and it was actually a brutal experience. Now, but what wasn't a brutal experience was that story. That is probably the best Star Wars story I have ever experienced in my life. It takes different concepts and just throws it at you and sees how you deal with it as the player. And, because it's an RPG, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Do you want to, side with Kreia, and then how you react to what she's doing and her whole motivation. Her motivation of wanting to get rid of the Force and being obsessed with how your character shut herself off from the Force is such an interesting concept, and something that I don't even think can ever be done again, and something that I'm happy was done through a video game. Granted, it's done through a very broken video game. Uh, Now, 2 years ago when they announced the Knights of the Old Republic 1 remake, I was kind of excited, but now looking back on it, I'm not as excited because KOTOR 1 is fine. It's KOTOR 2 that needs a remake or a remaster. This game is unplayable, and as much as I love its story, I can't recommend it in the state it's in. So coming in at the number 8 spot, it's actually a game that came out this year. It's Marvel Spider-Man 2 on PS5. I've already made like an hour-long video discussing my thoughts on the game, things I like, things I didn't like, but for the most part, I feel like it's a very safe sequel. I know that's something you've heard all over the internet, but it's true. It is very safe. There's not that much gameplay improvements. The swinging is improved, and honestly, the swinging is something that I care most about. So, why do I care most about the swinging? It's because before this game came out, I replayed the first one, and just seeing how good that story was, I kind of lowered my expectations for Spider-Man 2, and I'm glad I did that. Because if I had high expectations going into Spider-Man 2, man, I would have been disappointed. When I finished Spider-Man 2, I was like, yeah, this is kind of shit, but I knew it was going to be shit, and that kind of didn't frustrate me. I was like okay with it. I wasn't devastated for like 2 weeks, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? I feel like I got scammed. I kind of knew that was gonna happen. And not to mention all the woke shit in this game. At least all the woke shit is done through Miles. Yeah, I've spoken like nonstop about this game. You could go watch the video. One thing I will give this game credit though is they kind of towards the end of the game make Miles somewhat likable. And yeah, just the number one thing I hate about this game right now, currently, is the fact that you can't swing around the city with the black suit at night. I say that all the fucking time, but it's true. Swinging with the black suit during the day is fucking stupid. Now, for the number 7 spot, I'm going to give it to Doom Eternal. Now, it may come as a shocker to some of you. Yeah, I never played Doom Eternal before 2023, and yeah, I'm fucking stupid for that. I picked this game up for 15 bucks on the PlayStation Store, and that was so incredibly worth it. This is one of the best shooters I've ever played with, I hate the word diverse, but very diverse levels, and the fact that like you have to change up your gameplay every time. I know it's these little things that are so obvious, but it's something that's so refreshing in games these days because everything is so simplified. The fact that you have to use different guns on different enemies and actually use your brain and see how you want to traverse the combat arena with your grapple and shit is so refreshing. It doesn't hold your hand. It makes you like, I know this was a meme back when this game came out, but it makes you feel like a badass, okay? This game's levels are so diverse. All the, I hate that fucking word. The guns all feel amazing. The replay value is there. Playing this game on harder difficulties is amazing. And yeah, if this game is on sale, definitely pick it up. It's very worth it. So coming in at the number 6 spot is a game that came out this year. It's Armored Core 6. Now the reason I played this game and the reason I was excited for this game is because it's made by FromSoft. Now, if you're new to the channel, the FromSoft games are my favorite game, and they kind of got me back into making YouTube videos. Their games are so good that I've put a certain level of trust in them to the point where I'm going to buy their fucking robot game. And I'm so happy I did that. This game, just like Doom Eternal, is non-stop action. You're going to be hearing me compare this game to Doom Eternal a lot because they are, in my mind, pretty similar. Action games that are non-stop fun. You have to adapt your playstyle and adapt your build to the enemy you're fighting, just like Doom Eternal. The thing that it's not like Doom Eternal, the thing that it improves on compared to Doom Eternal is you have bigger arenas to fight in. And I really like that because the maneuverability in this game, whether you're using the tripod legs, the tank legs, regular legs, traversing around the arenas is so much fun, and flying around is so smooth. It's something that is done better in this game than Doom Eternal. Adapting your playstyle to fight certain enemies is so much fun, man. The bosses are incredibly challenging. There was one boss I was stuck on. I think it was the second to last boss and the last boss. I think at the time, they were the hardest boss I've ever fought in a game, especially the second last one. That one is fucking hard. I forgot her name, but yeah, just really fun game. I would recommend picking it up on sale only because it is shorter, but going for platinum on this game, I don't have platinum, but I know there's a trophy. Yeah, the trophy that stopped me from going on platinum is you have to S rank every single mission, which is really fucking tough. Another thing I really like about this game is the customization. You have pretty much all the customization unlocked from the beginning. And by customization, I mean the cosmetics, the different robot parts, weapons, legs, arms, head, core. That's all unlocked through missions, but right away from the start, you're able to change your color of your robot how you like, of your armored core, sorry. And something like that is so refreshing in a game, considering most things in modern day gaming are locked behind the paywall. So good for FromSoft, and thank you for making a good game. And you've just like doubled down on everything and proved my point on why you guys are the best devs. Thank you. Now, at the number 5 spot is one of the DLCs that I played this year. It's the Witcher 3 Blood and Wine DLC. Now, I played The Witcher 3 in 2022, December 2022, but technically I played the Blood and Wine DLC in late January 2023. So it still kind of counts. And because it counts, I'm going to definitely put on this list because that DLC alone is better than 70% of the games I've ever played in my life. I know most people prefer the Hearts of Stone DLC, but this one is just so special to me because going around Toussaint is so much fun. The different like atmosphere it holds compared to the other areas in the game is incredible. The color schemes, everything, the music. But I know I'm talking about non-gameplay related stuff. But let's talk about the gameplay. The story of Blood and Wine is amazing. Uh, it does something that you see also in the Cyberpunk DLC, where you're going through the DLC missions, the DLC side quests, and then towards the end of it, you get to pick the new ruler of the country, whatever. Something like that is in the Cyberpunk DLC. So it's something that CDPR are fans of doing. Anyways, the story is amazing. The new armors are amazing. They all look incredible. The new swords are so much fun to use. The fact that you could buy a house, buy a property in this DLC is amazing. All the side quests in Toussaint are incredible. Witcher contracts, so much fun. And yeah, this DLC, honestly, with the map that you get for Toussaint, and the quality of side quests and main quests, and all the different gear you get, this honestly is better than the majority of games out there, just the DLC alone. And I would strongly recommend picking up this game with the DLC. I think this game is like $13 right now, but everyone's heard about The Witcher, so you don't need to hear me telling you to pick it up. Yeah, this DLC is incredible. I would prefer it over Hearts of Stone. Now, coming in at number 4 spot is a game that came out in 2023. It's the Resident Evil 4 remake. This fucking game is so good. So, I never played the Resident Evil 4 original game because honestly, I couldn't even tell you why I never played it. But when the remake got announced, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not going to play Resident Evil 4 because this remake is probably going to be good, considering it's a game coming out of Japan and not out of the fucking woke states. Anyways, this game is so much fun. It's basically The Last of Us combat, The Last of Us gameplay, but in my opinion, much improved on. When I was playing this game, that's all I was thinking about. It's really inspired by The Last of Us, but just so much better, I find. The gameplay, the gunplay, shooting people in the legs and then falling down and then, attacking their head. It's so, like, smooth, and it's very, very fun, and takes a whole new level of, like, understanding the gameplay compared to The Last of Us. The Last of Us, you just kill people. This one, you actually have to think of how you want to defeat your opponents. Each opponent has different weaknesses on their body, whatever. The guns feel incredible. Leveling up the guns is so much fun. But the story is the story. It's the same story as the first one from what I hear. I knew the story was cheesy and very early 2000s. And I went into the game knowing that. And because of that, I enjoyed the fuck out of this game just because of that. So, like, when I think about this game, I don't even think about the story. I think about how well that gameplay is and how good the gameplay segments are. Certain parts of the game, when you're killing the people in the tank, where you have the thermal scope, that area of the game is so tense and something I'll never forget. And man, replaying this game on New Game Plus, like, is a joy. Man, I can't like stop talking about this game sometimes. Definitely pick it up if it's on sale, just because this game is not too long, but I promise you will want to do New Game Plus on this game if you do pick it up. Now, there is the Mercenaries mode, which adds replay value. You could just basically, it's like a zombies game mode. You just kill zombies, whatever, and go for more rounds. And why I like that so much is because I'm a fan of the combat, so I get to go in there and abuse the combat how I want, and it's just a blast. Definitely pick this game up. Now, for the number 3 spot, I'm actually going to give it to well, it's technically a game that came out this year. It's the Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty DLC with Cyberpunk 2.0. I'm gonna put them together, and I'm gonna use that as my number 3 spot. Technically, both of those came out in 2023, and those are better than the majority of the games nominated for Game of the Year, in my opinion. I think I'm gonna start with the DLC. This DLC, just like the Blood and Wine DLC, ends up with you picking the new ruler of the little country or the little area, the new map that you unlock, which is cool. Man, this DLC is incredible. The storyline is so thought-provoking and really got me engaged with the lore and made me care about the lore so much, to the point where I started watching non-stop YouTube videos and being super invested. Now, the thing is, I really didn't like So-Mi as a character, and I knew that from the jump. I'm like, yeah, I really don't like this character, and as the story ended up developing, I really didn't like this character. So when you got to the point where you got to decide who you want to side with, I immediately knew I wanted to side with Reed, which is Idris Elba's character, and that kind of ruined it for me because I kind of wanted So-Mi to be likable from the beginning and then turn unlikable. I don't see how anyone could side with her. She will backstab anyone. I get that she's kind of like our character. She has like the same like condition or whatever, but she's just very not likable, and I knew that from the beginning. Now, the little area you unlock in this DLC, Dogtown, is so much fun to just jump around and just, you don't even need a car. Just use your boost and your double jump. Just go around Dogtown, complete the cyber, or not the cyber cycles, but the little like gang hideouts, complete the gigs and all the side quests and shit. It's so much fun. You have these special drops that spawn in, which are little combat arenas. It's basically the devs' way of telling you this DLC is the combat related DLC, where you get to abuse the new combat system introduced in 2.0 to its full extent. And whenever I hear that sound of the drop coming in, I just get my fucking revolver out and I know I'm gonna have a blast. Going, like, fighting and using the combat in this game with the new 2.0 update in Phantom Liberty, in Dogtown especially, an area that's designed for combat, is so incredibly fun. And my god, just the different shit you could do with the combat in this game in general is amazing. Melee, shotguns, revolvers, AR, SMG, monowire. Dogtown, if you're a fan of the Cyberpunk combat, especially with 2.0, you need this DLC. It's built on the game's combat system. I said that 5 times by now, but man, it's incredible. All the gigs are amazing, all thought-provoking, with incredibly hard decisions to make. Sorry, voice crack. Really reminded me of The Witcher's Witcher contracts, with the tough decisions, tough moral choices you gotta make. Amazing. Every single gig in the Phantom Liberty DLC is incredible. The main quest is fantastic. Depending on the choices you make through it, you get to unlock a new ending for the main storyline, which is one of my favorite endings to this game. Definitely worth it. Please buy this DLC. I think it's on sale. Now let's talk about Cyberpunk 2.0, which technically came out this year, 2 or 3 weeks before the Phantom Liberty DLC. And holy shit, this game, or this update, really cements why Cyberpunk is one of the best games out there right now, especially at the price it's at. The amount of content you get in this game is insane. This new update streamlines the leveling up system, streamlines the gameplay and the traversal, the movement, everything. You can make whatever build you want. With this new update, the build quality and the build, fucking hate the word diversity. The build diversity is insane. You can make this game, you pretty much need a hybrid build with the new 2.0 update. So I did just kind of similar to my first playthrough 3 years ago. I did a melee assault rifle pistol build. This time I was finally able to implement the assault rifles more because of how the 2.0 update uh, forces you, or I would say encourages you, to have more of a hybrid build, which is so much fun to use because this new 2.0 update is based on, or it's built upon this game's gameplay system, which with this new 2.0 update, like I mentioned before with the Phantom Liberty, is so much fun. Now, this game had a rough launch uh, just with the bugs. This game, it's weird because when this game came out, people were shitting on it nonstop. But now that, which rightfully so, right? No game should launch like that. But now that this 2.0 update is out, those same people are saying that this game was always good. And it's really weird to see because I was pretty much a closeted Cyberpunk 2077 fan since the launch. I absolutely fucking loved this game, loved its concepts, and Mike Pondsmith's envision of the future. Mike Pondsmith is the guy who created the lore. I only know that because, like I mentioned before, I got so deeply invested into the lore. Still am, by the way. Yeah, you don't have much decisions to make in this game. But apart from that, this game's story and lore, everything is incredible. This game's been out for 3 years. Everything's been said about this game. People are coming to this game now. There's a reason this game is still at the top of the Steam most bought list. Especially when Edge Runners came out. There's a reason people are playing this game. This game is incredible. People love this game. People love this game so much that the devs chose to stick with this game. If the devs never stuck with this game, we wouldn't have the 2.0 update, we wouldn't have Phantom Liberty. But they stuck with it. We got free shit because we stuck with it. New outfits, and new new vehicles, or actually, with this new Phantom Liberty DLC, we have weaponized vehicles, which are really fun to use. And yeah, 2.0 is Cyberpunk, how you know and love it, with a fresh new coat of paint on it, a much more streamlined version of the game's upgrading system and leveling system with the RPG elements. And yeah, please pick up this game. It's one of the best, maybe in the top 3 best games you can pick up right now, especially with the DLC. Now for the number 2 spot, it's a game that didn't come out this year. It's a game that I'm happy I was able to play this year because I've been putting it off for so long, only because I didn't own a Switch. But now I found ways past that. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to explain how on YouTube. But let's just say I finally played Mario Odyssey. And holy fuck, this is one of my favorite games ever. This game is a blast. Oh my god, I can't stop talking about this game. It's so much fun going through each level. I hate the word diverse. It's the 5th time I use it this video, but each level is so diverse and actually makes you use your brain to the point where, like, I was playing this game and I was like, how is this a kid's game? It's funny how the games targeted towards adults are watered down and hold your hand the entire way through and treat you like a fucking idiot. But the games made for kids, like this one and Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, don't do that. They let you go around and they don't tell you shit. There's something about that that is so ironic and so, like, funny, in my opinion. Anyways, Mario Odyssey, this game is fantastic. The story, I mean, it's a Mario story. You come to know what it is by now. The hat system, the fact that they don't tell you shit about the hat and how you can use it to jump on it, throw it on the ground and let it spin, and then land on it and jump. The fact that you have to figure out all that shit, and once you do, and once you master how the hat works, you feel unstoppable. When I figured out that you can spin the hat around you and then go through like a horde of enemies and it'll just kill all of them, it was like the best revelation ever. I'm like, oh my god, this changes combat entirely. Each level, I already said each level is different. All the bosses are good for the most part. I know people had complaints about the bosses, but it's Mario. The optional worlds are amazing. You get the Mushroom Kingdom, which is really cool to go around. Just going around this game and the traversal, everything is fantastic. Getting all the collectibles is a blast. It never feels like a chore, and you're always rewarded for it through the skins, stickers, and anything. This game is so much fun. Definitely a must buy if you have a Switch, or if you have other means of playing this game, which I'm unable to say on YouTube. Please play this fucking game. It's better than 70% of the games that came out this year, and it's probably the best game on Switch right now. Now, finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, the number one spot for the best game I played this year is in fact a game that came out this year. It's The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now, like I said with Mario Odyssey, I found ways to play Switch games this year, and I am so glad I finally did that. Another voice crack. So the 3 Switch games I played this year are Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and Mario Odyssey. And when I played Breath of the Wild, I absolutely loved its new and refreshing and honestly revolutionary take on the open world genre. And I thought the sequel can't really change this. It can't really improve it. And the foundation is set. So whatever they do in the sequel, it may be just a little better, but it won't change it that much. Then I played the sequel, and the new abilities you have are so well thought out and so well implemented into this game system that I can't even recommend going and play Breath of the Wild first. If you have a Switch and you need to play a game and you want to play Tears of the Kingdom and you're like, oh, I want to play Breath of the Wild first, don't fucking do that. There is no point. If you want to do it for the story, I understand, but it's a Zelda story. You know what it is, and Breath of the Wild doesn't have the best Zelda story. You go save the princess, you've been asleep for 100 years, whatever. The sequel, though, holy shit, it builds upon the gameplay system, the open world. The new abilities, like I said before, are so much fun to use. You could break this. Okay, you are so overpowered. You are overpowered from the start. As soon as you gain those 4 abilities, or I think 3, because you get the 4th one later on. As soon as you gain those abilities, you are overpowered. You can do anything. You could use Ascend on anything. Go wherever the fuck you want. Pick up something with your arm. I forgot what it's fucking called. I haven't played this game in like months. Pick up something with your arm. Place it up. Keep it there. Use Rewind. Bring that thing up. Use Ascend. Get on it. And climb whatever the fuck you want to. This game, I can't stop talking about it. It changes like everything I knew about video games and how you interact with the open world. This is why Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are the staple for open world games. This is why they were so revolutionary in 2017. This is why every game has been trying to make a Breath of the Wild clone. This game is incredible. The story, in my opinion, is a little better than Breath of the Wild's. The new merge, or not merge, but fuck, what is it called? Yeah, so the new fuse ability is so much fun, and it actually does, in fact, fix the weapon durability problem from the first game, which I don't even think it's that much of a problem, considering part of this game's nature, no pun intended, is your weapons breaking and you going around Hyrule, finding new shit to merge and do what you can with the resources around you. This game's fuse system kind of fixes that, even though I never had a problem with it. You can fuse monster parts to your weapons, make them even more OP, and then once the weapon breaks, it doesn't actually break, just a monster part breaks. Now, you can farm monsters, which is rewarding in and of itself, and then get the monster parts and keep putting them back on your weapons. You can now repair weapons, which is so much easier compared to the first game. Going around the open world can be a little boring sometimes, just because it's the same open world as the first game, for the most part. Or it's somewhat similar to the first game. But here's where this game really shines. Yeah, the main Hyrule is similar to the first game's Hyrule, but you have 2 different maps. This game is 3 times bigger than the first one. You have the Sky Islands and the entire underground, which is Hyrule, but the fucking upside down from Stranger Things. This game's map is 3 times bigger than in Breath of the Wild. Just think about that. What the fuck? So I'm gonna start with the underground. I forgot what it's called. So it's called the Depths. I totally was blanking on it before, but yeah, the Depths are both scary and super rewarding to go down, but also very familiar because the Depths is a mirror image of the main land of Hyrule. Basically, whenever you find a light source in the Depths, it's actually a shrine from the real Hyrule, and it makes it very familiar. But at the same time, going through the Depths is very fucking scary because there are new enemy types, and defeating them, finding the little blue shit that you can pick up and transfer into skins or other rewards is so incredibly rewarding. In the Depths, you can actually find base weapons that you can add monster parts to, and those base weapons are some of the best weapons in the game to fuse. So it makes it incredibly rewarding. Now I actually marked on my map with little stars or little chests, I think, where those weapons spawn, and whenever my weapon breaks, which it rarely does, I go back down there, pick up a new one, go back up. So there's a reason to go down to the Depths. And every time I go, it's super fun. Now, the Sky Islands. Some people had a issue with the Sky Islands, saying that they all look similar. Yeah, they do look similar, but just when I think of Tears of the Kingdom, I think of the Sky Islands and how cool they look. Now, I know it's kind of a meme of mine to say, game looks good, game good. Yeah, the Sky Islands look cool. They maybe aren't the best part of the game, but I love exploring them and using the new game system on them to traverse, making a little makeshift plane and soaring through the sky to one island to another in the sky makes you use your fucking brain. Again, like I said before, the irony of it. It's a kid's game that makes you use your brain. It doesn't hold your hand at all. Whereas in games for adults, they hold your hand and they treat you like a fucking retard. Anyways, this game is amazing. I can't stop talking about it. There's so much to talk about. The dungeons are all improved. They took all the complaints from the first one and just fixed them. The dungeons are so well improved. They feel like dungeons now. They feel like typical classic Zelda dungeons. The bosses are really good for the most part. The music in this game is incredible. Like I said before, interacting with the open world, whether you're on the Sky Islands, the Depths, or the mainland, is so much fun, and it's why this game is the staple for open world games. Using fire on the grass to create an upstream, get up with your glider and just soar wherever you want, interacting with the open world. That's what open world games are about. Breaking trees, getting wood, starting a fire on the ground, cooking something. The cooking system is really good. Every time you get food, it's never to waste. You can always make a dish with it. Like, let's say you get a random mushroom. You're like, oh, it only does 2 hearts or 1.5 heart. You can make a dish with it and make a dish that heals even more health. It's amazing. Now, the one complaint I have about it is the fact that the companions you get take up a lot of room on the screen and they cause some frame dips. But it's something that you can thankfully turn off. But it's something that, why the fuck would you want to turn it off? They help during combat. They help during exploration. They help during traversal if you're on the Sky Islands. So it's kind of a bargain. But yeah, that's the only issue. But for the most part, I keep them on. And you can actually upgrade one of them. I think I upgraded the Yonobu one because his roll thing is so OP. When you're breaking boulders to find treasure, or actually when you're breaking boulders to find Zonai charge in the Depths, which, yeah, that's another reason why you want to go to the Depths, to get Zonai charge to refill your battery. Very rewarding. I upgraded the Yonobu one. Now, I'm trying to think of other things to talk about, because I know I'm going to make this video and forget about something talking about Tears of the Kingdom. But the side quests are all pretty much an improvement. The music, like I said before, the fact that you can make a house in this game. Not buy a house. You can design your own house how you want. Fantastic. I don't even think I've seen that in a game before. I think Fallout, one of the Fallout games has that. But anyways, uh, honestly, you need to play this game if you have a Switch or if you have means of going around the fact of getting a Switch to play this game. Please do so. Now, the art style of this game is something I am such a fan of. And when I mentioned before that when I think of this game, I think of the Sky Islands, it's because the Sky Islands are where this game's art style truly shine. The ancient look with the really nice green is something that is so nice to look at. The sense of discovery in this game and the fact that there are 100 different ways to tackle a puzzle and no one is going to solve the puzzle the same as you. uh this is what video games are about. This is why this is the staple of open world games. You can do anything. Think of it, you could do it in this game. You could do anything you want if you are creative enough. And if you aren't, you can solve the puzzle the simplest way possible and you will still, I don't know if you'll get a sense of rewarding. I don't know if you'll feel rewarded for that, but maybe you'll feel like you cheesed it, but who gives a shit? You still did it. And there, again, like I said before, every puzzle, every shrine has a reward to it. You can upgrade your character. And in this game, unlike the first one, you need stamina to get the Master Sword. And even the Master Sword is improved on in this game. You can fuse weapons to it. It's so fucking sick. This game, there's so much to talk about. I know I'm going to forget something, but for now, this is my top 10 list for the best games that I've played this year, including games that didn't necessarily come out this year. And yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is my pick for Game of the Year, in case you were wondering. And definitely go play it if you have a Switch. Go play the Cyberpunk DLC if it's on sale. Pick up Resident Evil 4. Pick up Tomb Raider if it's on sale on Steam. Pick up all of these games I mentioned. Just remember, KOTOR 2 is sometimes an unplayable piece of shit. And yeah, I'm happy we had a pretty good year for gaming. And hopefully we'll get the GTA 6 announcement trailer at the Game Awards. And hopefully we get the Elden Ring DLC trailer and release date at the Game Awards. Thank you for watching.